Yeah, go to the video and check and make sure you can actually hear me, so I don't have that issue again. And let's start that video over here, recording. So I'm doing my next Craft Dad Live chat, just because I'm working on the sword and figured why not. So I've got the sword. I'm going to be covering it in Worbla, doing the next stage. You can see the wood glue actually did pretty good. One of the issues I had is when you look at it, you see it's a little twisted. It's a little twisted, but that's why when I thought about it afterwards, I should have done a line down the middle. And I'll show in the video the easiest way to get that line, so that you don't have the same issue I do. Let's see, how thick is this? Let's see, should be an inch and yep. So this, I'm actually going to be cutting off just a little bit more of the sword. Now, when you cut, you definitely want to be more over the top of the sword, and actually, whatever you're cutting, you want to be on top of. And something I didn't think about doing until after, actually let's do this nice and neat because it's on my X-Acto knife. Let's cut this up. Actually, I probably want to make it thinner. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to create a mark that I can look at while I'm cutting that will help me better tell if I'm actually straight up and down. I have a title. There's a title there. Okay, let's see. The white ink. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a white line so that as I'm cutting, I can look at that white line and make sure I'm straight up and down. Tape. Testing, 1, 2, can you hear me? Yep, you can. Alright, well, so the white line is so when I'm up here cutting, I can see if I'm tilted too far left or right. Because I want to be directly over, and I want to make sure I'm cutting as straight as I can. Let's make sure it's nice and tight. Because that's the hardest thing to tell is if you're straight up and down on what you're cutting. And so that's where this comes in, and you can see, let's see, no, I did, because I want to slice off a little bit more. I want to make this evenly sized. Now, because of the wood glue, this is a little harder to cut. we go. Some places where I didn't cut all the way through. And then let's plunge. Okay, so I just wanted to cut off a little bit more to make it the same size, or half the size of this, because the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting on the Worbla. And so for that, I need to remove this surface. Interest tape. Yes. Yeah, I made you moderator. I did. Let's see. Gotta peel this up real quick. And I'll do this. There we go. That can go back there. So now this is going to come here. And this is going to be where I do the Worbla. That's what this is for. One part. So this is the Worbla. I'm using some good scissors to cut it, just to show that it does, I mean, it cuts really good. It's just regular scissors. And now, I'm going to heat it up. Yeah. Your Rosalie is craft mom. She is my interpreter. Just turning it around, getting it better suited for what I want to cover. Make sure you have that where you don't burn yourself or burn what you're working on. And I may not have put enough. That's okay. So we'll start folding that over. So I didn't heat it up enough. Yep. That is not. I should have cut a much bigger slice. That's okay. So this is a slow process. It takes time, but you slowly get it on there. And this will give it a lot more strength. You can do it in sections. It's just starting to droop. You definitely want to use tools to help you keep lines pretty straight. I'm using it on low heat because you don't really have to have a high heat. You could actually end up burning the Worbla. Well, not burning it, but you just overheat it, and you don't want to damage the foam underneath. See, if you overheat it, it will stick too well. That's okay. That can all be repaired. It just takes time. You just take your time. You can blend the Worbla together. Hi, Brittany. I'm working on another sword. This is the butterfly demon slayer sword that I'm working on. You can tell the unique shape from the unique shape. Emerald Bunny, hello, how are you? So as you can see, you slowly work it, and you'll have the Worbla covering it. And if you have little gaps and stuff, just add a little bit of Worbla. That's what's great about Worbla. Let's see. Put that over there. Alright, so since I cut that too short, we're going to have to do this in sections. I want to cut it around here. High heat to get it down. Yep, Emerald Bunny, I know who you are. I knew right away, Bunny. Now, eventually, this part. So I should have tried something, because I got to pinch this together into more of a blade, and my idea is to use the Worbla to kind of pinch that together. And so this, I'm going to want to pinch it together, kind of form, but I have a feeling that's not going to really work the way I like it to. Yep. Ah. So, if that doesn't work, we'll peel it off. And we'll peel this back. Or can I peel that off for this sword? Yeah, I should have did the edge on that. Oh well. Let me peel that. Expose that edge, expose this edge, heat it up a little. I should have used the Dremel. Hey, no one's perfect. You try something, it don't work, you try something else. It doesn't matter if you get scraps, like I said, you can use that on the other pieces, so. Alright, let's peel that back. I'll do that later. So what I should have done is turn this into the actual blade. And for that, we're going to use the Dremel. So I've got a Dremel. There, I want to use a test piece. There we go. So the idea is to have the foam like this, and I'm going to put an edge on it by slowly getting away the foam and getting it down to an edge, and then the same thing on the other side. This is pretty thick, but this needs to go a little faster. Get the speed right. There we go. You see, and then on that foam, you see how it's more of an edge. It's hard to see it. But that's what I want to do. That's what I was supposed to do here. And I still got Worbla right there. That's okay. Pop that off. Oh, that's already hard. Oops. There we go. Turn that off for now. So I have Worbla that's in the way still, because I got anxious. That's okay. Just heat it up. Seal the Worbla away. Expose what I need to cut, which is right there. And I need to expose this Worbla right here. And this will look a lot better once it's a Worbla, because the foam does heat up, or the foam is thick. It's already getting a nice blade there. Alrighty. Now back to, I probably need to switch this out. Sometimes you get such gunk up on your drill bits that it doesn't actually sand anymore. No. Well, I don't need gloves. No. Well, it's not hot enough. It is hot, but not that hot. Alright. Yeah, Rose was asking me, she's in my earpiece, she's asking me if this was too hot. Oh, I gotta be careful. So, you know, take away just enough what you need. Now coming this way. Just gotta be careful enough. And sometimes the Dremel just isn't the right. Doesn't spin the right way, but it'll work. Scrape that all on the floor because I'll vacuum it later. Alright, let's start fixing the Worbla. Alright, let's get that Worbla back down and I'll put down more Worbla to fix it. And you can even do it where you heat up the tool. And with the tool, you use that to spread down the Worbla. See if I can peel this yet. Get that peeled back over. Oops. Okay. It's ripping apart. That's okay. Alright, let's get this part over here. Alright, I need some of that to stay up there. This is just like a thermoplastic. Come down. In there. Works like a putty. And I can use strips to fix it. Yeah, so I like using Worbla just because it works pretty good, and sometimes you've got to use something to hold it down because it's too much air coming out of the hot gun, the heat gun. You want it warm enough so you can use it. See, it's real malleable. And you want to start putting that back over the places you need to repair. Right now we just want to get the shape. Then we can work on smoothing it. Yes, Brittany, I miss you helping as well. I wish you were able to be here. Oh, whoops, yeah, I should have done it that way, huh? That works. Oh well. So there's glue on both sides, but one side has more glue than the other. You can see that's the side with the glue, that's the side with none. You can see there's a difference in the shine. You know, see the shine, that's the side you want the glue to be on, but Worbla sticks both ways, so you don't really have to. That's okay. And we'll do a pinch over there. Part of that. Eventually we'll get it to stay the way we want it to. To do that, let's see. Alright, so the glue side is the side I want. I want it, yeah, about like that. And some of you may say, you're being wasteful with the Worbla. Don't matter. I had a huge sheets of it that I bought years ago. I'm still using them. I use them for all kinds of projects. Alright. Put that back. There we go. Fix that piece. Put it there. Oh, it actually comes down there. Alright, so let's see. I'm doing some of this. So this is where Worbla comes in handy, because you can reheat it. This is just a piece scrap from all this. So you can squish it back out. Flatten it back out. See, now I've got a nice kind of flat piece. I'm going to repair this piece right here because I didn't do it very well. And so when you're reshaping the Worbla and you're reheating it up, do it in sections. And really it's a kind of a tug and pull. You'll get it to really kind of get itself flat with the where you're trying to get it. Okay, let's see. And yep, so the movie stopped. Camera suddenly stopped. Don't know why. That's okay. Oh, you're swinging, not the table, because you're on a stand thing over there, baby. I have you on a stand. This thing held up. Oh, because I'm shaking the whole table. Okay. Craft Mom is telling me I'm shaking the table too much. I'm shaking the video too much. She's my producer. Or the director. Alright. Shaking that. I need to get that in here. Some of this you just gotta kind of hold in place till it cools down. Once it cools down, it becomes a hard plastic. I mean, and you can hear it's pretty hard once it cools down. See. Oops, keep getting that on there. Okay. So let's put more on the blue. And again, because now you have the foam underneath, you don't want to go too much with the heat, because then that will start to cause the foam to bubble, because it will release gas. Okay, this to meld better together. And you just heat it up a little. You just keep working with it. It's like putty when you heat it up. Yeah, let me see. How do I see more of the messages? Actually, how do I see more of the messages? Oh, there we go. All message visibles. There we go. Now I can actually see, because they were popping up for just a little bit and then they were disappearing too fast and I couldn't see what everyone was saying. So this is where it's nice to have more than one tool, because you can start shaping certain aspects of it that you want, if you want a sharper corner. But that's kind of hard already. Let's see, flatten that out, because that's kind of the edge. Oh, I'm gonna mute you, baby, because now I have my sounds died, or my headpiece died. So it's dead. Battery died. Let me go put that away real quick. You know, and I can keep working at this to really smooth it out more. Like I said, I can also heat up the tool so I'm not applying heat everywhere. I want it only where I want the Worbla to move around. As you can see, this is already almost 40 minutes. And it can take some time, so you just take your time and you can get a real nice piece. There we go. Get that. Oh, now I'm going to have to heat up. Alright, so I need to do right here. And I'm heating that whole area up because that's what I make it easier to work with. Oops. See, it will stick, even to metal. It's sticking to the metal a little. So you got to watch how much heat you applied that to it, because that makes it sticky again. That reheats the glue. Let's see, and you know, so I don't want that to stay down. So I can hold pressure there, let it cool off. No, don't stick to it. It's still too sticky. It needs to. I'm blowing on it some. I want it to be more of an edge. Where it's coming down, like some of it I might need to add more Worbla there so it holds it better. Like that. And then this, eventually this, let's peel this up. That's why I went and got this tabletop, because I can easily peel this up. So you see, I'm piecemealing it, and so it looks like that, but when you actually work on it, you see, you can get it to look uniform. And then you're going to paint it anyways, so you just want it to look uniform enough. Okay, so now, this side. And I'm knocking all kinds of things down off the table. That's okay. And so if you have the lines that are close enough, you could close the gap, but then you could end up stretching the Worbla too thin. It's better just to add a small strip there. I mean, because we're going to have Worbla from here. I can actually kind of peel that off right there. You know, and that's going to make that more of the edge. I can see it because it's see-through. I want to do the edge. And that's what I'm working with. Heat it up and spread it out. Move it back and forth. Make it blending. The foam underneath is just to help give it structure. You don't want to make this a solid thing of Worbla. Fitbit magnetic bands, I love them. But you also end up sticking to so many things. Heat it up, heat it up. But don't burn yourself. Use this, get this together. Make sure you pat it down. We'll do some more shaping later on it. Feels like a big old piece of foam right there. That's okay. Okay, I got a corner right in there. Let's see. We'll do a little piece. Oops, that went running off. Hey. Hey. There we go. See, I can get him, and I can stick him right in there. And then fill in that piece. Now I've got it sealed, and it will hold it. And see, that I can, eventually I'll go along and pinch this more. Alright, let's see if we can shape this blade a little better. Now I can use my fingers and kind of get the initial bit. It starts to stick together. Some of the foam. Let's see. But we also want to make sure that we're getting a decent, smoother edge. So we want that. Now, some of this Worbla we're going to have to let it cool off. so that we can then compress it and let it compress on and hold the right shape we want it to. Or you can stand here and just hold it. Let's see, like those two. You know, so I'm trying to form more of an angle. You know, and get other tools that you want. That angle, that angle. Cut that down. This is where clamps would be nice. I did bring some, but I don't think they're going to be the right kind. So I got these little clamps. Little clamps. They're not angle clamps. It's not for the angle, but that's okay. That's actually kind of already hardened. Let's see the top. Alright, so you can see it's already taking the shape. What's that, baby?
The thunder.
Oh, the thunder?
It's like shaking the house. Right?
Yeah, there's a big storm going by. So you can see how I hodgepodge it. You can kind of see the pieces there and stuff, but once this is all done, you know, you won't really notice that. You know, so it's going to be a lot of work, you know, but it'll be worth it, and once it dries. Plus, you can also sand it, but I don't want to sand it too much. You just want to add a little Worbla here and there, spread it out, get the blade. You know, because I still have all this back here to do. I've got this here to do. I got to cover all of this up. You know, but let's finish working on the blade. Let's see here. That's a thick one. I can thin that up. Speed it up so it starts sticking. Oops. Thin, thin. You want to be thin. I wish getting that thin was easy. Okay, so we got them there. And now we got to heat them up. Got to heat it there and spread it so he's a lot thinner. I could have done a smaller amount, but oh well. Then you can use other tools. Doesn't matter what you use. Well, kind of does. You want tools that aren't going to stick too much to the Worbla. Let's go back to this tool. It's actually doing pretty good with it. We'll get that in there. Because we're really trying to just make it level. I don't think I got Worbla in. Maybe too thin there. But see, once it's hardened, I mean, look, I can't. It's hardened. Over here, it's still soft. You know, so I can try to smooth it as much as I can. Like I said, don't pull back and forth too much. You'll actually rip the Worbla apart. So I mean, that's what happened here. You can see, you know, it got really thin, and now I can rip it, but it's still hard to rip. You know, so here, just a little bit of the heat. And that piece is nice and in there. Some of you may be thinking, oh, put baby powder or something on the back of here. Don't do that, because then you get it all over here, and then your glue won't work sticking. See, edge, edge. And, yep, that will have to be later. This is a pretty good spot right there. Keep that up. I just don't like the way it looks. It's not sitting right. That's okay. We heat that back up. And then we can press that bad boy back down more. Definitely a much thicker piece of Worbla. You could probably use an air compressor to quickly cool it down. Once it's cooled off, it hardens again. So I don't know, that'd be interesting, but then that'd be a waste of an air can, of an air compressed air can. So there's just a little bit right here. You know, so there's little tiny pieces. So let's do this guy right there. And part of the thing is the top of samurai swords is not round, so I'm gonna have to flatten this out. So might as well start looking at that, because that's gonna be flat like that. So I've got to add more on the top to get this to be more flat. So why not? Let's try that now. And I can start from all the way there. Let's see. So one way. So we can heat it up and start rolling it. See, get it, roll it out. Don't need it too thick. We just want it thick enough. Okay, let's make it fat. If you get too thin, just kind of whack it back in and stretch it. There we go. Okay, now, but we want to heat this back up because we want the whole thing warm. We want it to be malleable, so you got to make sure you keep kind of heating it a little. Because this is eventually going to go here, and we really want to press it down because we want it to be the flat samurai sword. So that's going there, but it's also going to be going over here. And then we got to get it to go down that way and that way. But let's see. Just trying to flatten this more to bring it out on the sides. Because then I can do this more on the sides and make it more flat. And it's cooling off. Like I said, you take your time, just little bit by little bit. You know, some people don't like to do piecemeal Worbla. They like to do it all in one piece and have it preformed, a nice thick whatever, and that's fine. But this is why sometimes it takes just a little bit of time. So that's one side. It's really looking good. So it should be a nice, just kind of stretch it out, pull it the way you need it, so you kind of get that nice flatness, but you don't want to overstretch down here. I may have to add a little bit Worbla there to kind of bring that up, but that's just like little tiny pieces. Now let's flip it over, look at the other side. Okay. So now I gotta do that same thing on this side. like I said, sometimes just moving it back and forth gets the lines to hide because it's self-adhering. It's adhering to itself. And I'll show you here in a second. Trying to keep it straight. Nice flat surface. You know, you can even like pinch it if you want. You know, so you're trying to get a really nice hard edge. You know, this is all just like when you're getting near the finish and you got what you want and you're trying to just get that little bit. So, you saw how we started. You see how we finished. So you see how this is all rounded. That's not the way a samurai sword is. When you look at it at the top, you know, it's flat. Now, yes, this is thicker than a samurai sword, but you're going to do this all the way down. And taking a look at it, actually not too bad. Probably need to just a bit that way. And I would do that all the way down. All right. So it's just real quick, you know, fast Worbla. Oh, and I could even go like this. Oh, no, wait, yeah. Tap it. Go tap it, bring it this way, tap it, bring it that way. Nice, flat, you know, see. You can even get a nice shiny surface if you do it that way. I can kind of lock that down. See, now this is really getting nice and hard. But I want to pinch this in more. And you want to let it cool off, and you may want to just use a tool, and then something like this, where you sit there and you pinch individual. Because it applies enough heat to kind of make it malleable, and then it will harden again. But, you know, that's getting a hard edge. So the owner of this, once she gets it, she can actually whack someone with it and do some damage. But that's not the purpose of this. The purpose of this isn't to be whacking people and hurting people. You know, so let's go with this one. I'm gonna level this side out. Now this side's harder because it's foam, but as I was saying before, you just want to be able to kind of work the Worbla and get the edge, get the edges. So, because the Worbla itself is already getting hard. Alright, so I've got a lot more work to do on this, and it looks like my camera died. Yeah, no battery. That died, but that's okay. It'll get boring to see because this could take hours doing all of that. But you know, it becomes therapeutic. You know, you've got a stressful day, you sit here and you focus and you just go piece by piece, and eventually you turn it into something that is nice like this, and you start making the whole sword like that. I mean, some people were saying you can't get Worbla super smooth. I mean, if you look at the light, let's see if I can get the light to shine off that again. There we go. So if you can see, you know, the light shining off of it, that's pretty smooth without having to do filler or anything and stuff. So again, this is the beginning of the butterfly demon sword. And this is for cosplay. This is not supposed to be, you know, like a real sword or anything, you know, so so now you guys can see my face. And my Army Physics shirt. All right. Thank you, Juan Pa. Or Pa'a. I hope I said your name right. I'm still learning how to properly pronounce Tagalog. Was it Salamat? And then Magandang Umaga for those of you who are in the Philippines. I believe it's the morning time for you guys now. Or Magandang Paan. You can blame my wife for not teaching me. All right, but again, hey, thanks everyone. I didn't want to make this too long, just about an hour or so, just to kind of show you that, as I make some progress on the sword, that's why I don't like post a video every single week because, it takes time. I work on it slowly. I was gonna show it actually took a lot longer doing that than what I thought. I'll show this real quick because I put on the title that this was also for the angel wings that I'm going to be building. And so for the angel wings, I'm looking at using armature wire. This is 3mm armature wire. Do this. If I can get that. Yeah, so the idea is to have wings that are made out of 3 strands of this. One strand is pretty flimsy, but it can hold, I believe it can hold enough weight, but hey, I'm going to test it. It might work, it might not work. But I need to roll out 10 feet, and then I'm going to weave it together. But I need to make something that I can actually use to twist it. And, well, that's what we got. That's what I got foam for. I'll do foam, I'll put it in Worbla, I'll make some holes, and that way I have something I can twist, and to twist this around, I'm going to do 3 strands of the 3mm to see if that gives it enough stability so I can do angel wings. That way the client who I'm trying to make this for, just because I'm intrigued of making it a different way, can do that. There is 5mm and I believe 6mm wire, but I wanted this because you can bend and bend and bend and bend and bend and bend and bend, and it won't break only if you cut it. I can bend this all the way down that way, but I don't want to. It's going to mess up the wire. But that's what I was hoping to show in this, and I don't want to make this too long. Otherwise, people may not watch it all the way to the end, and if they do, hey, they do. All right, hey, again, thank you all for coming on here and saying hi. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you all later. Let's see, how do I end? Oh, I don't know how to end. Wait, here we go. I think this is it. Yep, here we go. End the streaming.